where Merrick Garland was in the hot seat. The Attorney General was grilled over his DOJ memo targeting concerned parents at school board meetings. It all started last month when the National School Board Association sent a letter to Joe Biden demanding action over what they call violence and intimidation at board meetings across the country. But listen to this. New reporting reveals that the NSBA had, quote, collaborated with the Biden White House before sending a controversial letter calling on the FBI to investigate parents as potential domestic terrorists. So, was the Biden administration colluding with the National School Board Association? Did the White House weaponize the DOJ to label parents all across this great nation as domestic terrorists? The answers to those questions seem to be unequivocally yes, because the Justice Department then quickly followed the NSBA's lead and issued a memo saying they would identify and prosecute these domestic threats. But how did the DOJ reach that conclusion? Did they do some type of in-depth research? Did they conduct a nationwide investigation? Do they have specific threats? Congressman Jim Jordan wanted to find out.
When did you first review the data showing this so-called disturbing uptick?
So I read the letter, and we have been seeing over time threats.
Whoa. I didn't ask you. So you read the letter. That's your source?
So let me be clear. This is not a prosecution or an investigation.
Is there some study, some effort, some investigation someone did that said there's been a disturbing uptick, or you just take the words of the National School Board Association?
Nothing. Nothing more than a letter. Garland wouldn't give a straight answer, but he gave nothing more than a letter as the predicate for this investigation. And by the way, Congressman Jordan was cut off before he could press any more. But it's obvious that the White House was following the NSBA's lead and the DOJ was following the White House's lead. And that is not the only concern Congress had with the Attorney General. Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson took the AG to task for his family's business ties to critical race theory.
It also concerns us that your actions may have been motivated by your family's financial stake in this issue. Published reports show that your son-in-law co-founded a company called Panorama Education. We now know that that company publishes and sells critical race theory and so-called anti-racism materials to schools across the country. Did you seek ethics counsel before you issued a letter that directly relates to the financial interest of your family? Yes or no?
This memorandum does not relate to the financial interests of anyone. It's against.
I take that as a no.
To be clear, the Attorney General's son-in-law sells critical race theory processes and products to more than 23,000 school districts, schools across this country. If that's not being compromised, I don't know what is. So the White House, the DOJ, all compromised in their connections with both the National School Board Association and with critical race theory. And yet they continue to push on targeting concerned parents. So look, why is this so important? Well, here's one real-world consequence to what's inside that letter. One of the people the NSBA targeted as a domestic terrorist is a father from Loudoun County, Virginia. Why? Because he showed up to protest at a school board meeting. That parent's name is Scott Smith, and as you can see here, he was pinned down by police and arrested during a school board meeting in June. Now, Smith wanted accountability from the school board after their transgender policies led to his teenage daughter being allegedly raped in the school bathroom by a man in a skirt. Obviously a harrowing experience no parent should have to deal with, and every parent would want to find accountability on. But instead of doing anything to help Smith to allay his concerns, the Biden administration is looking to vilify him and hundreds of other parents as domestic terrorists. Luckily, Congressman Chip Roy of Texas would not let Garland get away with this.
The girl who had been raped, sodomized in the bathroom of a high school by a dude wearing a skirt, that father reacted. This man, this arrest of a 48-year-old plumber, became the poster boy for the new domestic terrorism the Biden administration, the administration in which you serve, has concocted to destroy anyone who gets in the way. Do you believe that a father attending a meeting, exercising his First Amendment rights, and yes, getting angry about whatever lies are being told about his daughter being raped in the school he sent her to be educated in, that this is domestic terrorism? Yes or no?
No, I do not think that that parents getting angry at school boards for whatever reason constitute domestic terrorism.
So then, why did you send that letter, Mr. Attorney General? Why did you issue that memo? Why target parents across this country who are only concerned with their children's safety, their education, and their future?